feel like there's more exclamation marks in the song.
Yeah, I had more fun with song titles back then. A lot of exclamation points, a lot of chaos. That was what we were bringing to the table. Hey, I'm Jeff Rosenstock, and this is Setlist Insider. There's a handful of these on the top. Nausea, You and Weird Cities, Festival Song, We Beg to Explode, 9 out of 10. Those are songs that we will play at like 99% of our shows. Our records, No Dream and Hell Mode. I tried to make those in a way that like we could do at least a majority of what's happening live. Whereas like the record Worry, when we started touring on that, everybody in the band had to get a fucking keyboard or a sampler that they had to play in addition to their regular instrument. And 9 out of 10 has all those keyboards in it. If we don't play those songs, we have these fucking keyboards up here this whole time. We need it for like 1.5 minutes of the set. What else is on here? Gourd Jam Improv. We only did a Gourd Jam Improv when somebody threw a gourd on stage one time. But I'm glad we have that documented. We covered Josie and the Pussycats on this tour that we did with Modern Baseball, Pup, and Tiny Moving Parts. We asked people to submit things to like this Google sheet, and then whatever had the most votes that morning, we'd be like, okay, I guess we're covering this song today. I think the hardest one we had to do on there was Dancing Queen by ABBA, because Kevin couldn't play the Canadian shows, and we had figured that out as we were crossing the border. So the drummer of Pup, Zach, he's like, hey, just so you know, I learned all your songs. I was like, I love you, Zach. Oh yeah, we played Tijuana twice. We like just walked across the border with our instruments and just played a show. Bomb played South Dakota. That was... This very kind fan wrote me like this letter and was like, bands never come through South Dakota. I always have to drive like 6 hours to go to a show. It was like, all right, we're gonna book a show in South Dakota. And then that person was like, oh, I'm gonna have work that day. That was how we ended the tour where we announced we broke up, which was with a show for like 12 people in a basement in Chamberlain, South Dakota. But it was a really fun time, and we stayed at a Super 8, which had a hot tub. I'm glad I bumped New York to the top of this. I lived in New York 20 years, and a lot of that time was not getting booked on shows, having venues not write back to me, having promoters not write back to me. Once we could actually play venues, I think Bowery was just really on the top of a list of like places I had seen so many shows. Just as a fan, just like as a college student, as a kid from Long Island traveling into the city. And I think we planned on doing 2 shows, and then those sold out fast, so we ended up doing 4 shows. At this venue called the Warsaw in Brooklyn. It ended up turning into this like 8 shows in a row thing, 2-hour-long sets every night. We had 2 days to practice. The day before practice, we got a call from Taking Back Sunday that was like, hey, we had to reschedule our show. We know you guys are in town. Do you want to play? We're like, all right, we'll do it. So then we had 1 day to practice all these songs, and it was just kind of chaotic and fun. The Warsaw. I used to live a block away from there. I got married there, literally. Found the music industry, played our last shows there, and that was a really special thing. Let me look at this. I remember the Future 86 from that show. That was like the first Found the Music Industry song in a way. And it's about giving up everything to go be in a band and just go do it. Closing out the show with that. I remember that being very emotional. All right, that's all for now. If you want to check out some of these stats yourself, go to setlist.fm.